Hey everybody, it's Steve Melia, day 28, 30 ways, 30 days, we're almost done, we're at the stretch, we're in the final sprint towards the end. It's been exciting. It's actually sort of, for me, I feel like I've really, this has been great. I feel like I've developed a relationship with many of you. I've reconnected with people I hadn't, talked to in years. I have added new business partners, people like my friend Corey. What's up, Corey? Out in Indianapolis. Corey's a guy I met at some Grateful Dead shows, many this summer, and him and his wife Donna. So excited to have them as part of a new business relationship. And I just really want to do this for 30 days just to see what would happen and see, I guess, the kind of impact that I could have. But more than anything, as I've stated, I went to a seminar in Vegas, I guess, 28 days ago. I got out of it. And I guess one of the things I'm really proud of or really excited about is that I've kept my commitment. I stayed focused on it. I've been traveling around. If you've been watching me, I've been all over. Austin, New Orleans, Florida, Minnesota now, and I stuck to it, and I think I've really provided a lot of content and value. If I've been going about 20 minutes a day for 28 days, which at the end of it will be 600 minutes, which is about a 10-hour seminar. So if you're tired of listening to me, I get it. Who we got? We got Mary Lynn, we got Wayne, TK, Timmer, what's up? Sarah, good morning. Thank you. I certainly appreciate that, Sarah. I've had a real blast with it, and sometimes what I do in the mornings before I do this, I'm about to catch a flight, so I don't have a lot of time today, so I want to go quickly here. I always say that, and then I wind up going long. But one of the things I do to start off my day is I listen to Jim Rohn, and I've been talking a lot about him, and man, I get fired up. And I listened to him for 15 or 20 minutes, and I was like, man, I hope to have that same kind of impact. Maybe not now, but eventually when people listen to what I have to say for 15 or 20 minutes. My real goal in life is to inspire people. It's to encourage people that, hey, you're better than complacency. Hey, you're better than average. Average is for average people, and you're not average. And so the ideas, the strategies, the concepts that we've talked about over the last 28 days have been phenomenal. One of the things, and really a word I haven't talked about a lot, but a word that's prevalent is philosophies. Your philosophies, how you view the world, how you see things, how you hold things to be true or not to be true. For instance, just as an example, how you treat your work. If you really give it everything you got, whether you own the company or don't own the company, but if you see yourself as a CEO and you take full responsibility for everything that happens at work, whether you own it or not, but because you see you're working there as an investment in your future to get better, to create more opportunities. You ever go into a restaurant? Sometimes in a restaurant, I'll try to pick out who the owner is, and you can usually just tell there's one person that, whether they come over to your table and just say, hey, everything great, or they just, whatever, they make eye contact, or they're a little bit friendlier than everybody else. You can usually tell who the owner is. The buck stops here. It's always a great question, though, to ask somebody, whether it be a retail outlet or, wow, you own the place? And and if they say no, I say, man, you sure seem like you do. You sure treat it like you do. And I think that's a great compliment that you could give somebody. So I see Mary Beth on. I see Jim on. I see Regina on. And I see Margot on. I see Melissa on. I see Ron. Someone commented the other day that they felt like this was Romper Room. I don't think they do a lot of Facebook Lives. But I don't really remember Romper Room. I think I was about 2 when it came out. So excited. Today's 30 ways, 30 days. If this is your first episode, go back and watch from the beginning if you like. They all stand on their own. They've all got a message every day. And today's message, drum roll please. Today's message is going to be... how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. And I'm going to take a few different examples because you could go a lot of different directions. I'm getting a lot of likes and a lot of loves here. Being on time. Okay, being on time. And again, this isn't to anybody in particular. But being on time, well, I'll say this. The founder of the company that I work for, Harlan Stone Cipher, always said, hey, if you can't be on time, be early, right? And being on time, again, it's how you do anything, it's how you do everything. It says a lot about how you feel about the other person that you're meeting, whether it's important or not. And I'm not saying you should get upset if other people are late, or let other people run their race. You run your race. You do what you got to do. I'm not saying get emotional if somebody's late and say, man, I watch this thing and here's why you need to be more on time and stuff like that. Just worry about, do what you can do, in all different areas of life. Again, I was listening to Jim Rohn, and this was an older example, but Jim said, like, say you've got all these things and to do, and say, yeah, I should have wrote my mom a letter 6 months ago, but I didn't. Well, guess what? Guess when the best time to do it then is today. So look at all, sometimes it's good to just, if you feel like a little out of balance out of life, or you want to just move forward more, get on top of things, maybe make a list of all the things that you feel unsettled about. My car payment's late, or just, like just whatever it is, and make it, and then say, okay, what can I do about these things today? Maybe sometimes it's just a phone call. Maybe it's just dealing with it and calling somebody and say, hey, listen, I know I'm late on this. I promise I'll get it in. Give me about another week. Whatever it is. But sometimes it's best, well, it's always best to deal with stuff head on. So being on time. Maybe just if you're somebody that's challenged on time. And again, like most things are pretty structured. Like when I went to 162 Yankee games, for the most part, they started at 7:05 or they started at 1:05 on Sundays and sometimes Saturdays. Once in a while, there's a 4:05 game, right? Now, I know I'm going to be dealing with traffic, and I know there's going to be other, sometimes there's long lines at the game. Sometimes I need to get a ticket. Sometimes I need to eat. But when I went to 162 games, was I ever late for a few of them? Yeah, I missed first pitch, more than once. A lot of times it was by choice, though. I'd be maybe having an adult beverage or a beer at the right across the stadium and stuff like that. But for the most part, you can choose whether you're on time or not. Like, it's not like a chronic disorder. You weren't born late. Maybe you were born when you weren't supposed to be a few minutes late, but it doesn't mean you have to be late the rest of your life. So how you do anything is a real representation of how you do everything. Even better put, and I almost named it this, is I even like this better. One discipline affects another. That's a good. One discipline affects another. And Jim Rohn, another example, he said that, listen, if a guy's bank account is close to zero and he's 40, better check his blood pressure. Whoa, are you telling me that my bank account could affect my blood pressure? Yes, as Jim Rohn says, everything affects everything, right? How you do anything is how you do everything. And so as we're talking about these goals, which we did in depth yesterday, and I did a great goal-setting workshop. I mean, I thought it was great. People seem to get value out of it yesterday in Minnesota. It's important, even though you might have one or two main goals, right? This is important, one or two main goals that affect everything else. Like for me, when I got started in business, I really felt like if I could build my business, right, and create this financial wall around my family and around everything I want to do that create all this freedom, that everything else would fall into place. And it does, but you can't just, so one goal can make everything else better, but at the same time, when you're writing your goals, don't just write all business goals, in my opinion, write health goals, right? Exercise is another great example. Being on time is a choice, so is exercise. And I don't like to give anybody a hard time. In fact, it's hard sometimes when I'm in a seminar, because you can see sometimes it's obvious who's been exercising and who hasn't been exercising, or who's sometimes exercised. And sometimes it's hard because you don't want to look them in the eye or make contact, or sometimes you feel bad, because I'm sure they're not happy with it. But man, taking care of your body. What if you did exercise and you lasted 5 more years? Would that be a difference? What if you did exercise and it helps you be disease-free a little bit longer? What if you did exercise and it really helped? And the other thing is, as you're going out there attracting people as a mate, attracting people in business, customers, clients, stuff like that, people look at everything. People look at everything. They always say that how you treat the waiter is the same as how you how should I say that? Don't treat the waiter any differently than you're treating your client or your customer or your mom. You can tell a lot by someone if they're rude to a waiter or waitress or a bartender or anybody like that. I don't think you should be rude to anybody. I think everybody is of equal importance in the eyes of God, in the eyes of me, and everything. And I think it's been said that I'm not very good with quotes. Have you figured that out? That you can tell a lot about a person's character by how they treat somebody that can absolutely do them no benefit, and I think everybody can do us benefit, because I think we can be inspired by people. I think we can learn from people. But whether somebody is the maid or the house cleaner at the hotel, or someone is a CEO of a company, looking them in the eye and having confidence and smile and making them feel important, I think is a big deal. And I promise you, I practice what I preach on this. I mean, I really do. I think that how you interact and your interpersonal skills, and whether you lose your temper and whether you get all emotional and stuff like that, whether you scold a child. Sometimes I guess I'm not going to give parenting advice, but I guess sometimes you have to. But sometimes people are a little over the top. Like you'll be in a Walmart or a grocery store and you'll hear somebody the way they talk to their kids, and it's a little disheartening. Now I understand there's situations and people will discipline their kids in their own way, but how you do anything is how you do everything, baby. So who else we got? We got Van. Thank you, Mary Beth. I certainly appreciate that. Strangers Stopping Strangers. My friend Timmer Halligan is quoting a Grateful Dead song. I believe that's Scarlet Begonias. Strangers Stopping Strangers, just to shake their hands, be kind. I love it. No, absolutely. And there's nothing cooler. Hey, Patty. Been on time. Actually being early is better. Absolutely. Alex, Margie, nice to see everybody. Carla. I got my brother Mike, Melia. Mike, what's shaking? I'll see you in a couple days. Maureen, I shall see you in a couple days. These are Mike's my brother. Maureen is my sister-in-law. And, there's so many great ideas when it comes to personal development. It's not what we get, it's who we become that determines what we get. But it all starts with our philosophies. And one of the philosophies, again, is how you do anything is how you do everything. Another way to say it, I guess, is that everything matters. Everything matters. If this is the slight edge going this way and this is the slight edge going this way, it's simple disciplines compounded over time versus simple errors of judgment. And sometimes there's just a slight thing. It's just a slight thing about how, whether you show up somewhere or your attitude or just how you treat other people and stuff like that. And there were 3 questions that I wanted to share with you. I remember the very first time, and I know this should really just be an interpretation of Jim Rohn. That's really what this should be. I'm like they call it like a cover band. I'm like a Jim Rohn cover band covering Jim Rohn ideas. But the very first time I listened to him, my brother Mike, I think we're sitting in my sister's house in West Orange, New Jersey. And it was the tape, and Patty Stoltz was watching. You might remember this, Patty. It was our first tape, and it said Jim Rohn came on. Never seen him in my life, and Jim Rohn came on. He's behind a podium, and he said, "Some teachers teach for others to learn. That's not me. I teach for others to accomplish." And I thought, man, that's the teacher I want. That's the coach I want, and stuff like that. And then he proceeded, to talk a little bit about his mentor, Earl Schoaf. And Earl Schoaf said, "Jim, I've got 3 questions for you." And because Jim had been blaming the economy, blaming his negative neighbors for not lending him any money, his in-laws, his blaming the government, blaming the Democrats, the Republicans, whatever, blame. And Earl said to Jim, "Let me ask you 3 questions. Jim, how much money have you saved and invested over the last 5 years?" And Jim hesitated. He's like, "0." And Earl said, "Not a good number." And he said, "Let me ask you this. How many books have you read, say, over the last year? Books or audios have you listened to improve your life in one way or another?" And he said, 0. He said, And he said, "Let me ask you one more question. How many seminars have you been to over the last couple of years to improve where you are in life, whether your business, your communication, your parent, and all this stuff?" And Jim quietly said, 0. And Earl put his fist down. He said, "Jim, nothing will change for you until these numbers change for you." And I thought, man, that's powerful. And that's really what started me on my quest for personal development, personal achievement, to improve my life, to change my life, to have a more satisfying, exciting, to design a life that I want that had freedom. And so remember, guys, one discipline affects another. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's really hard to be really financially successful and be way, way out of shape. It's really hard to be successful but have really bad personal relationships. Now, does it happen? Yeah, it happens, but they tend to bleed into each other. So just as an exercise, if you're interested, see where my mind is. Just kidding. An exercise is write down, if you're already writing your goals, and I hope that you are, write down what your goals are, and then just write down which area it is. And sometimes we focus way too much on business and not enough on health or relationships or others. So try to just look at it sort of like a wheel, the wheel of life. If this is you, and you've got your spiritual life here, You've got your financial life here. You've got your career here. You've got your family life here. You've got your fun stuff that you do. Like for me, it might be like stand-up comedy or writing or watching Yankee games or sports or stuff like that. But really look at all of them and ask yourself, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10 maybe, how am I doing? And chances are, whatever those numbers are, they're going to tend to be about the same. Like it's very rare. You'll find it, but it's very rare that someone's a 10 in business, but they're a 2 in personal relationships, or they're a 10 in business, but they're a 2. And so again, as you're going out there trying to attract other people into your life, attract the right people, the right associations, what are the people that you're hanging out with? Do they have lousy personal relationships? Are they treating their business lousy? You know, if you hang out with 5 people that don't exercise, you're probably going to be the 6th. It's the same thing with finances. It's the same thing with being positive and raising our kids in a positive way and stuff like that. And I hope I never come across as preachy or, hey, I do this and you should too. I'm just going over some ideas that I've learned in my life. Many of them I do. Some of them I know I should do. Some of them I need to start doing more. But anyway, Mike Melia with the sunglasses on. Thank you, Wayne. Bev, nice to see ya. Van, Stacy. Hey, Stacy Randall, grew up with Stacy junior high and high school. It's nice to see you. Haven't seen you since we did that boat signing in Sebastian last year. And guys, my ride to the airport's about to pick me up, or I'd like to go another 5 or 10 minutes. My pick for the day, football fans, are you ready for some football? I'm going to be on an airplane all day, and I'm not going to get to see any, but I do know this. I do know that the Philadelphia Eagles, even though they lost their starting quarterback last week, are still going to cover against the Giants. Okay, I was going to think of an adjective, but if you've been watching, you don't really need an adjective. Just say the Giants. It's a 7-point spread. I give the points. So far in the season, giving you guys tips, I think I'm 3-2. So by no means am I an expert when it comes to sports betting, but I love sports and just like to have a little extra interaction with my friends. So I take the Eagles today. I take the Eagles. Give the 7 points. Cross your fingers and hope their replacement quarterback can put some points on the board. Everybody, my name is Steve Melia. I hope you're awesome. We got 2 days left, and for those of you that weren't on yesterday, I did announce yesterday that in the new year, I'm not exactly sure of the launch date yet, but I'm going to be doing 30 days for network marketers. What? Yeah. 30 ways, 30 days for network marketers. Every day we're going to tackle a new topic, and guess how much it's going to cost you? Well, I hadn't really thought about that. I guess I'm going to give it away for free. If I could figure out a way to charge you for it, I would, because I think that when people pay for something, they're going to get a lot more value. So give me a like or give me a love if you want me to charge. Oh, I'm getting a lot of likes and loves. I'm just teasing. I'm probably going to do it for free. I am going to do it for free, unless you really want to pay me. If you want to send me money and you're getting value, like if you increase your income by like 50%, you want to send me 10%, I never say no to money, right? I never say no to money. So it's going to be really exciting. It's going to be neutral. I'm not going to be talking about my company. I probably, even though in this 30 ways, 30 days, I probably mentioned my company a lot. But this is not an intention to recruit you from your company to my company. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I want you to stay focused. Whatever your company is, I want you to feel free to share it with your team and your distributors, whatever that is. I'm not going to poke fun at any companies whatsoever. I may go over some things that I think are good examples of selecting a great company and how to know, if you're in a good company and stuff like that. But I'm certainly not going to try to recruit anybody away from what they're doing. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I wouldn't use a platform and stage like this to be able to do it. Okay. Now, if you've already quit your other thing and you want to come over to me, that's great. But I'm certainly in no way going to be mentioning what I do or trying to recruit you away. So anyway, I probably hammered that a little too much. My ride, Jim Gavin, and if you don't know Jim, he's the vice president, one of the vice presidents with my company here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And guy's a great guy. He's been picking me up, driving me around, buying me food, put me up in this great hotel. And just really, if you know Jim, give him a shout out. Let him know that I said I think he's a fantastic guy. I've gotten one of the great things about traveling around is you really get to meet new people every trip. Like I really spent a lot of great time with some folks here in Minneapolis, and I hadn't done a Super Saturday in a couple months. I've got 3 lined up. So these are Saturday events where I do training and goal setting and stuff like that. I'm going to be in Charlotte, Atlanta, and Orlando the first 3 weeks of the year. So excited to get back on track and doing what I love to do the most. That's inspiring, encouraging, cheerleading for other people, because you are the best. You deserve it. If I could do it, if my brother could do it, if my partner Kim could do it, we know that you can do it. And how do I know that? Because I know where we came from, and it wasn't pretty. And I know where we are, and it hasn't been like that. It's been a lot of that, but it's been an amazing journey. Just remember, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? And one discipline always affects another. God bless. Have a great day. We'll see everybody later. Bye-bye for now.